I kind of agree with that. Because I wasn't all of that when he was asking me for my $1,500.
Right. See, but then that goes back to once these kids are grown. It's always been my policy, and again, I'm gonna say this on the show. I do not and will not ever again give money to friends and family.
Not if it's been burnt.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not doing that. And like I said, even if my sons, if they're doing something, I'll give it to them and help them out. But if you know your son's kind of, you should know the situation.
Yeah. I mean, of course, you're not going to, my dad always says, I'm not going to help you do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you have children like that who don't want to do anything, but they're constantly wanting you to give them something, no, I need to see you go make it do what it do before I help you. Because me helping you is just hindering you in our actuality, hindering you to become from becoming who you're meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
I can't be a crutch, and I will help you when I see you're putting just as much effort in, but yeah, I mean...
my youngest son, University of Arkansas, he's a Razorback, going for his master's degree. He gets his stipend from the government because of my service and everything like that, which is great. More power to him. He knows better than to come ask me for money right now when he's getting a stipend because of my service.
Well, not only that, because then you're going to be like, I'm sorry.
Right.
What you've been doing with your money.
With your money. You're getting $1,000 free. You didn't even earn.
Right. What you doing with your money?
And you need more money from me? That ain't going to happen, son. So...
Or at least get a good reason as to why, because he might need it for something.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He knows he can't come to me with no bullshit. He's got to come to me.
Well, what happened Dad, was...
Well, I bought a Jaguar, and I'm throwing bags on an airplane.
Could he have a Gucci belt? And ask you...
Could he
buy him a Gucci belt and ask you for some money?
He better get him a Darth Vader belt like me and my brother had in 1977 when Star Wars broke out. We thought we were the shit.
And so I don't see any more comments, and so I'll address... actually, what Todd was saying about why he doesn't vote Democrat. I was having a conversation with my nephew, who is very highly intelligent.
Handsome, too.
Yes, my nephew, Chris. I want to say this, Chris. And he says, I'm not voting for Democrats. He says, I'll entertain Andrew Yang because I like Andrew Yang.
Well, who wouldn't? He's giving you $1,000.
Right. He says, but other than that, he says, and I'm just telling you what he said. I probably shouldn't have said his name in case some people want to give him some hate mail. But he says, I'll probably vote for Trump. He says because, and I'm paraphrasing, but some of the things that Trump is doing is actually going to help black people, whether we realize it or not. Now, I know Trump has a lot of issues, and
he's a dirtbag, but good.
It's not even just my nephew. There's a lot of people who, especially a lot of young black people who feel that way. I'm tired of, Democrats saying they're going to do this, that, and the other.
And they don't deliver.
Just, like you said, assume our vote. We give them our vote anyway. And so...
And nothing changes.
Right. And then I think a lot of people are asking, now, of course, a lot of us know the answer to that, but what's really going to, what's really going to change? What worse can happen to us? I'm talking about as black people with another 4 years of Trump. That's what a lot of people are really asking in comparison to what we've gone through since the 60s, well, really the 30s, if you want to go back that far, when black people started to transition to being Democrats. In all the time, almost 100 years, 90 years at this point or so, how have black people progressed under voting for Democrats? How have we progressed?
Yeah, if anything, we've really regressed.
You think?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. If you look at it, overall,
right?
You destroyed our family. The father's not there, so the responsibility's not there. Our women have, and I get in debates with a lot of women about this because here's the question that always comes to me, and I give the simplest answer. They go, me and my mom get into it about this too. She says she gets tired of these women not being defended by our men. We can't defend you if you don't want to be defended. We can't. We tell you to stay out of the nail shop. You go back there anyway. You know what I mean? There's all these
issues.
There's all these issues that it's like I don't want to get involved because I'm not going to put my life on the line, and you're going to go back in there anyway.
That's not all of us.
Not all of us,
I would say that's probably a smaller percent than most.
True. However, again, you also have the father not being in the home and these young men that are being raised with these women, and they're more emotional. Like I said, I was raised by my mom, but unfortunately my mom's she's an
alpha?
No. Well, she's an alpha female, but she's also she's a nurturer, but she's a no nonsense nurturer. You know, so she would be something just out of the ordinary as a mom. She didn't want no wimps. She didn't, you know what I mean? She made us be men based on her father. Okay, she had an example.
Can I say it? Can we repeat after me?
Yes, repeat after you.
There would be no single mamas
without the daddies.
Without absentee daddies.
Right, exactly. Right. But again, women have the choice of who they mate with, so please make better choices.
Yes, and please be a better choice if you are
yes.
man.
Right, exactly.
And Tay says, I will never let anyone borrow money again. Never. In large caps, exclamation mark. Never.
Yes.
Dang. Like never ever.
I mean, I've lost a lot of friends over money.
Trust me, I've lost a lot of money.
Yes.
I have. Don't take me back.
Yeah.
Anyway, Al says, Donovan, my cousin, and I were living in our grandparents' house after she passed. Our parents sold the house and their homes to get another.
Wow.
Their own homes. And now the people who bought the house didn't care. Didn't take care of it, I think you meant. Of Granny's house. And it looks like straight shit with the corn. Corn in it. That's so disgusting. Our parents said they never should have sold that house. Mm-hmm. Right. So, no shade to your parents, but yeah, you sell grandma's house and
that's
the house that you grew up in, right. Everybody else grew up in, it was
valuable beyond money. The memories.
Just got rid of grandma's house. And so I don't think we really understand what that means when we do that. Because as it is, especially in California, black neighborhoods are almost non-existent. I know that there's black neighborhoods and communities in the South and things like that. But why do you think that neighborhoods are? I mean, obviously there's gentrification and, things like redlining and that kind of stuff. But we also play a part in that, in selling our people's houses, if you will. And then so everybody else, other races come in and they buy these homes up.
Right.
And you can even go back and rent the house if you needed to.
Right, exactly. We allow people come into our neighborhoods and set up shops that should be our businesses and things like that. And then we wonder, what's going on. A good example here where we live. Now, when we were coming up, everything was pretty good. It is very rare to see a black person here in the Empire. It's almost
rare to see a white person nowadays.
Yeah, it's very rare here. Everything, and no shade to my Asian and Hispanic people. It is what it is. I'm not hating on you guys. Matter of fact, I'm kind of jealous that you guys can do what you're doing.
Right. Well, they have what you call the group economics down. They understand.
They understand it.
As Nipsey Hussle, R.I.P. said, all money in.
Right. Exactly.
Keep the money in. No money goes out to other communities. Like, help yourself first. We talk about this all the time, and it's not a secret that it says that the black dollar circulates 6 hours.
6 hours and it's gone.
That's like me getting a check from the man or wherever I'm getting the money from. Sitting on it for a little bit, and then it's like, I'm just going to just give it away to everybody. But I'm going to keep 3%. I'm going to keep 3%. What can you do with 3% of your check?
See, and here's the thing. We talk about wealth and the missing wealth in the black community. There's a guy that came to me because he sees that I'm doing okay. And, he served in the military and stuff. And he says, Mount Donovan, my retirement, it ain't going to be a lot of money and da-da-da-da. He's got 4 kids. One of them is still in school, whatever he was doing. I said, okay, well, what's the big deal? Now, this guy served in the Army. And, and I said, well, what, you gave me some numbers. What's your retirement? He's, I'll probably get about, $1,500, whatever it is. I said, how many injuries do you got from the damn military? Right? Oh, I don't want to go over there and do it. I looked at him and I said, look, hypothetically, if you're 80% injured from your time in the Army, that's $2,000 tax-free for the rest of your life. You add that with the $1,500 of your retirement. How much is that?
That's $3,500.
That's $35, whatever you're going to get, right?
Right.
He doesn't want to go.
Then stop talking to me then. That's what I would say. Stop talking to me.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like, I'm telling you what the white guys are doing. That's what they're doing. And he's worried about his income. I said, well, you got that. Plus, you got a Social Security coming. By the time you get 60, whatever, you got that coming in. So,
I just said, stop talking to me.
Right. So
I don't want to hear no more.
So by my numbers, you're going to be okay if you do what I tell you need to do.
Too much work.
Thank you.
I don't want to do it.
But you're going to holler, complain about, oh, I'm going to have to work
You ain't
until
gonna
I'm
holler and
dead.
complain to me.
Exactly.
Because I don't want to hear it no more.
Exactly. Because I told him, I said, a lot of us that you think that we're the way we are, I'd be making it, but I wouldn't be making it as well as I'm making it if it wasn't for my injuries. So
anyway, Al says, Donovan, my mom always
wants to use my military discount.
Okay, he said, again, wants to. I'm glad you can decide. That must be that Mars code shit y'all understand, because I can understand. My mom always wants to use my military discount. I tell her, let me lift the heavy stuff. She went to Sam's Club and picked up a case of water. Her
back. Okay.
I heard her back and tried, but she denied me. I tried, but she denied me.
Right.
There's something wrong with you, for real.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
It's that white. Look. If it wasn't for that, his mom would have been pop.
I'm not gonna read it.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna read it. That's what he needs. That's what he needs.
I know, but see, you can't do that till,
Yes, I'm sure Al has been popped up quite.
Sometimes.
I know his mom, okay? I'm sure she done picked up a shoe many a times on Al's black ass. And his high yellow ass.
Yes, I got an email from our show last week where this person agreed with me about like how Al treats his daughters. My daddy, he ain't gonna do nothing. Because he's in the same situation. He's like, yeah, man, it's just like that.
Ain't gonna bust a grape.
Ain't bust a grape. Holler and screaming.
Yeah, like, shut up and open up the wallet, daddy.
Yes.
Dang, you wasting time.
Exactly.
So anyway, I don't see any more comments, so I'll pick up a topic here.
Sure.
I'm surprised no one's brought it up, but as you guys know, we talked about the Colin Kaepernick thing and the case and with him trying out on Saturday.
Yes.
And so much information has come out because a lot of people, he heard you. He says, that's right, that's my white side. So much information has come out about what actually happened, what caused Colin.
Yeah, they say it's a PR stunt or something.
Well, there's people were saying it was a PR stunt, and Colin is trying to
I don't believe it, but go ahead.
Be a martyr, and he doesn't really want to play. Well, a lot of evidence has come out since then, and you guys probably saw Stephen A. Smith. I want to call him something else, but
Cooning Smith,
Sambo Smith. Mm-hmm. Got Saturday, went and ranted and raved, and he doesn't want to play, he just wants to be a martyr. And I tried, and the NFL and Jay-Z, we all worked to get to him to this point. And so Stephen A. Smith has been taking an ass kicking by everybody in the media, right? Good. And so it comes out that the contract that the NFL wanted Kaepernick to sign was kind of flawed because part of the contract says that if he were to get injured, then he had to assume his responsibility for his own injuries. Mm-hmm. I mean, injuries. All right? Doesn't sound like that was typical for their contract. Right. Also says that I guess it was supposed to be private and closed, and he says, no, I don't want the thing to be closed. I want everybody to be able to see.
Because they will control the narrative. Also
says in there that he was future employment or something like that wasn't going to be guaranteed or something. Right. So, which would have disallowed him to sue in the future for further collusion and all of that.
Right. Okay.
And there was one other thing I can't think. Oh, he wanted to use his own wide receiver. Wanted to use his own wide receiver for obvious reasons,
So they don't drop the ball.
Yeah, and a perfect example that comes to my mind is, remember on 5 Heartbeats when they first went to perform and they had the house band?
Yeah, the guy playing the music. Right, that's exactly what would happen.
Yeah, that's my music. Yeah, on 5 Heartbeats, exactly. On 5 Heartbeats with
Robert Townsend.
Yeah, Robert Townsend's character. The house pianist was playing his music, and he was jacking up the song. And
he's like, "That's my music, man."
That's what would have happened. That's what I'm assuming. Yes. Right. So a lot of other stuff has come out that it wasn't just that Colin was trying to say, "Hey, I'm trying to get attention" and all that. It was actually a lot of flaws in the contract, and so. A whole lot
in the process.
I think
there's flaws in the process.
This is my thing.
It's like they were trying to set him up.
Exactly. And it just shows that who the Sambos in the industry, I won't use the C word because we get in trouble for that, who the Sambos in the industry really are. That's what and Sambos in your life, Sambos in the, like, you want this man to just take any old thing just to get in.
Because most of us do.
And we do that all the time.
Most of us do.
To sacrifice your integrity and all of that
You got to eat, fool.
Yeah, just to get in. Let these people do any and everything to you just to get in.
Let them break you up and stuff like that. And then when they're done with you, how many NFL stars and ex-pro athletes that probably played 2 or 3 years, they got a ankle injury or something catastrophic, and then the NBA, and they're just done with them.
Right.
They can't do anything else because they've been geared to be athletes. And these people are out here walking the streets homeless. You find out this guy used to be the ex-Universal champion that knocked out Sonny Liston back in 53.
Right.
Yeah.
And Al says, your take on the Myles Garrett N-word excuse, because I don't watch TV or just NFL, what Al does, and he tells me about it. And so when he first told me about
it isn't far-fetched that we all know how they do that.
But this is what I said, and I still believe this. I don't believe that Rudolph, whatever his name is, called him that because... and when Al first told me about it, when it first happened, I said, well, if he called him the N-word, I think that would have been known right away. But it sounds like he waited nearly a week to make it an issue.
Right.
So, come on now.
Yeah.
Some white dude come up, you call you a nigga?
You would have said that right then and there.
And what else is going to happen?
As the Middle East is happening.
It's going to be an ass whooping.
Right,
you know
as it's happening.
Exactly.
Right.
You're not going to say, oh, yeah,
and everybody's going to back you up.
by the way, did I
Because they
tell
heard
you he
it.
called me a nigga?
Right. See, what it is he's trying to get his contract
so
back and get his
I
money.
have a hard time believing
But see,
that.
why can't they think about that before they take the actions that they do? Even if I'm a Sambo sellout type Negro and I'm worried about my money, just like Will Smith and everybody, your contract is your contract.
Yeah,
my contract is my contract.
I mean, but, not to rehash that whole thing, but, Rudolph, whatever his name is, he doesn't have clean hands in the situation.
Right,
either.
absolutely.
And so, Christopher, what's happening? He says, grandma's house remaining in the family is not always a good thing.
True.
Let's see. Not always a good thing. What shape is it in? What shape is it in? How much are the taxes? Who's going to maintain it and how? Do we rent it out or reserve it for family? How do we make decisions about the house? Oldest has the final say, consensus. Selling grandma's house does not necessarily degenerate her legacy. Degenerate her legacy. Mm-hmm. It does not diminish her achievements or negate her sacrifices. It just may enable her living legacy to realize goals that they may not have otherwise. Every situation is unique. So no, I agree with that. But overall,
we're saying black wealth.
When we're talking about black wealth, what is the most popular and most lucrative way to gain wealth?
Life insurance.
It's one of them.
That's one of them, but home ownership.
Real estate,
home ownership, yeah.
Real estate. And a lot of times when people sell off grandma's house, or not even necessarily grandma's house, but somebody who's left the house is paid off, it's because I want the money.
Right, and what you don't understand is if the house stays in the family, let's say she has grandkids, you can borrow against that house to set the kids up to go to college for those that don't have money and don't want to do it. You know what I mean? You could get credit off of that house.
Right.
To do other things and provide.
And a lot of times when people get the money out of the house, they don't, just a fact. Because if it wasn't a fact, black people wouldn't be in the situation we're in. They don't do anything monumental with the money. They going to the Bahamas and shit.
Yeah.
They buying rims. They doing this. They not doing nothing to move the bar.
Right. In 2007, the major group that got hit by the housing crisis was the black community.
Right. And hey, Michael, you says the NFL demanded closed door workout, no media allowed workout on Saturday, sign a waiver which had an open-end verbiage, basically make it so Colin could never sue them again for anything, wouldn't give him the workout plan, wouldn't give him the receivers list. So everything I said, so there you have it. So now that we know all of that, like, how are people still trying to say he just wanted attention or he really didn't want to be in it? It's like, it's almost like saying, cross the street. I want you to cross the street. But listen, I ain't going to guarantee you're not going to get hit by a car. Like on Bowfinger. I sound like you and Al. Bowfinger on the Eddie Murphy movie when they told Eddie Murphy's character that the cars on the freeway were actors.
Right.
They weren't. He was just crossing the freeway. Don't worry, they're just actors.
Right.
But no, you can't, like, you want me to do something, it has to make sense for me, too. I'm not going to cross the street and potentially get hit by a car and you say, wow, that's on you.
But see, most Negroes, we just take the crumbs that is given to us.
Right.
Period.
And he said, Colin is a family friend, more to it than what the media knows.
Yeah, we know that.
I'm quite sure.
We know that. I mean...
And tell Colin we say,
yes.
We with you, brother.
Yes, thanks to him. I haven't watched 2 seasons of football.
Don't you feel good?
I don't. My Cowboys need me. My Cowboys need me. But
What's the excuse all this the other years before he was taking a knee for the Cowboys?
hey, I tried to call it in.
Right. And what's happening, Sydney? We miss you.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Michael says, even if Colin killed at their workout, nobody would have seen it. So NFL can spin it how they
Exactly.
like. Colin's new location was on the way to the airport. And that's what I heard they said, it was right off the exit. So it wasn't
Yeah.
that far. People could have made it if they really wanted to and all of that. And so, I mean,
Any excuse to make him look bad.
and I knew it was
Any
more
excuse.
to it than that. Or him just saying, you know what, let me just be a jerk.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to just go somewhere else. Come on. But, people like it, Stephen A. Smith. Actually, Michael, you've probably seen it too, is the one of the ladies who sits on the, she's the chair of the school board that the workout was, the trial was actually held at. She admonished Stephen A. Smith and said, you have a responsibility not to be reporting falsehoods. She said it wasn't planned because Stephen A. Smith was trying to say, Colin planned this. And she said, I'm telling you,
Right.
as a chair of the board of that school, that it wasn't planned. So stop lying and kick it is pretty much is what she was
Well,
saying.
you got to remember, Steven's got to eat his butter biscuits as told to him by his owners.
Exactly. He's
And
the
that's-
highest paid
yeah.
personality
So
on ESPN.
He has, I'm not saying he's a victim or anything like that, but if he wants to side on the side of stuffing his pockets, which is the society we live in now, greed is good.
Right.
Gordon Gekko. That's what he's going to do. And it's unfortunate because you have guys that stand on principle, Muhammad Ali, Colin Kaepernick, and so many others that are unnamed
Right.
that, are willing to lose millions of dollars to stand on their principle.
I don't see a problem. I mean, there's people working at Taco Bell that
Right.
will do that.
Right.
I
mean, look
no
at
shade
us.
to anybody working at Taco Bell.
I mean, look at us here. We could monetize this show, but we don't because we want
Right.
to give you the game for free.
Right. And Michael, you also say he was one step ahead of the NFL. I beg to differ. He was 10
10
steps
steps.
ahead of the NFL.
Yeah.
And that's what I said. I said he saw the bullshit. And but he saw what we didn't see initially, but everybody, and people talking about, Jay-Z, he's upset. And people got mad at me when I called a spade and
Right.
said, Jay-Z is just mad because Colin denied him the chance of redemption. Because had Colin fell for the okie doke, then Jay-Z would have said, okay, yeah, me and Rock Nation, we have something to do with that. Because we know he took
Exactly.
ass kicking for selling out Colin behind We Pass Kneeling.
Right.
So that's why Jay-Z is mad, because he was denied the chance to redeem himself.
And make some money.
That's what it is.
And here's even a better example. Asshole Antonio Brown, former Oakland Raider, former New England Patriot, right? He said he's going to do it his way. He's out of the NFL right now.
And now he begging to get back in there.
Right. Now, who did he beg to get back in? Robert Kraft, a man who's involved in human sex trafficking.
Just a little sex trafficking, that's it?
Yeah, just a little sex trafficking. Now,
Not that I'm diminishing it, but
Now-
because it is Robert Kraft,
Right.
like, that's no big deal.
right, but you see what I'm saying?
Right.
Here's the plantation. Now, this Negro is coming back to get his butter biscuits because he realized
Right.
that fat meat ain't,
It is
greasy. You know what I mean? It's just, where's your principle?
Right. And then Sydney says, I need to know what else Stephen A. Smith said. It's all over YouTube and Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Go to Twitter. You'll see. Is it that I know of is not spliced and edited. I mean, Stephen A. Smith keeps doubling down on, he's trying to convince us
That's right.
that he's right and he's wrong as the day is long,
And-
he's mad because Max Kellerman took him to task and was like, dude, and
You don't
especially-
know the issue.
But especially, he's like, in paraphrasing, but you as a black man, I shouldn't be telling you these things.
Right.
Y'all mad because he wore a Kunta Kinte shirt? I asked on the show Sunday, what did Kunta Kinte do wrong to where he can't wear a Kunta Kinte shirt?
What if he wore the NWA shirt?
I mean,
Would that be an issue?
it probably would have been worked better, But he wore a Kunta Kinte shirt, so now everybody's up in arms. So he didn't wear it as he was trying out.
Right.
He wore it afterwards. What's wrong with him wearing a Kunta Kinte shirt?
Yeah, okay, if he's sending a subliminal message,
And then,
maybe.
and then the fool being Stephen A. Smith likened it to wearing what did he say? I forget the shirt that he likened it to, but it's like now you're taking it to. It's gonna come to me in a minute, but I can't think of the shirt that he the person or thing he referenced it to. And so Michael, you also say if he would have said that his lineman would have turned toward him the right way. So he said if he would have said that, his lineman would have turned toward him the right way. So I don't quite understand that. Maybe it's just me, and I apologize. And let's see, and Russell, he says, I'm going to vote for President Trump. Do you think I'm a Sambo? I'm voting for President Trump because he supported and signed the first step criminal justice reform bill.
Let me answer that.
He also gave, he also gave more money to black colleges and universities than any president in history, to name a few things. Moreover, Democrats have never done anything to help black people, and I supported them for decades, but no more.
Okay, Michael, I like what you just said, but I'm going to have to correct you on a few things. The president cannot give anything to anybody. That comes from Congress. That's us, the people. So you gave that money to the black collar. All he is an executive. He executes the laws. That's why he's in trouble right now, because he doesn't have the power to give Ukraine money that isn't his. Okay, so that's that thing. But
doesn't make him a Sambo.
Right. No, it doesn't make you a Sambo, because guess what? Elections is a transaction. You got something for your vote. I ain't mad at you with that. And if anybody tells you that you're a Sambo, I would rather be a Sambo than an uninformed person who is just giving their vote and getting nothing for it. It is a business transaction, and you're doing the right thing.
There you have it. And then, Michael, you say there's a second lawsuit that nobody is aware of. This was all PR and hidden agenda by the NFL to dismiss that future lawsuit. NFL doesn't want Colin, and they don't want to pay him any more money either. And to your point, that's what the speculation was all the way up to the point to try it out, that it was a trick of the NFL. Yes. They're playing games. They're not really going to bring him on to a team.
What?
It's just to,
What do we... I tell this to people all the time. My nephews, nieces, everybody. Read the if you don't understand it, go take it to a lawyer. Yes, you're going to have to pay a little fee, but if that contract has something in it that the lawyer can get out of it, trust me, he's going to let you know.
And this is what I tell people too. And Michael, I'm probably preaching to the choir on this one, but what people fail to realize, Colin's not a stupid man.
No.
Was he valedictorian of his high school? Plus, he had great grade point average. And on top of, he's got one of the best lawyers in the world. If you don't know who Mark Garagos is, go Google this man.
Yeah.
So he's not just sitting around like, well, dude, just think, I mean, he's got a machine.
Yeah, he doesn't have a Trump lawyer who keeps doing these stupid arguments.
I mean, he's very intelligent. He's got intelligent people around him. And I always say, too, big ups to Nessa, because without having a dope woman by his side, I think the fight would be a lot harder. But she's like, listen, baby, we in this through thick and thin. Yeah. I'm with you. No matter what. And so I think he just got a lot of great people around him who are saying, you know what, we're not going to let you step onto, into the trap.
Well, what I think it is, he's not looking in the box. He's looking outside of the box. A lot of us, we get in a situation and we stay in that box.
Or somebody dangles a carrot, because that's what the NFL was doing. It's like, oh my God.
Right. You got to look beyond that and say, okay, if I take that, I always tell people this, especially young people. If you, instead of teaching your kids dominoes, which is great to teach them because they can learn to count and stuff like that, teach them chess. Chess has life applications, because for every move in chess, you have to think strategically ahead.
Right.
And that's the thing is that you got to do. So
it's chess, not checkers.
Right. Yeah. No. It's very true.
I was saying how I was sick of hearing that, especially when everybody was trying to defend what Jay-Z was doing to Colin.
Yeah. You really got
chess, not checkers.
You really got to think 3, 4, 5. I agree. I think he was 10 steps ahead.
Right. Oh, absolutely. And Alice, TD Jake said, you can rid you of your pain, one hand in the air and the other on your body. Daddy put one hand in the air and the other hand. I have to read Al's stuff. Wow. And then Cindy says, no, Donovan, prostitution, not hitman, trafficking.
He meant human trafficking.
Yeah. It ain't me that can't read. It's
right.
But I'm glad you here, because I'm like, human trafficking.
Yeah.
Well, it was kind of human trafficking, and I'll tell you why, because I actually looked into this. I don't watch TV, but I do listen to a lot of NPR, and I heard a whole lot of conversation about that. And so the people, the women, if you will, in question were Chinese immigrants. Mm-hmm. They were Asian, but I believe they were from China.
Right.
And what happened was a lot of them did come over here, and this particular nail shop owner promised them a lot of things, this, that, and the other. And once they got into the nail shop, because they wanted to come in and do nails and all that other stuff, It was an opportunity for them to do better. A lot of them had kids as well, but yes, their passports were taken, and they were threatened, and they were held against their will. A lot of those women were held there with their children. So if that's not a form of human trafficking, I don't know what is.
Well, and also, it is a form of human trafficking without a doubt, but I know where he's going with that. Yeah, the act was prostitution.
But if I'm there against my will...
Right. See, but that's why it's a harder charge. Human trafficking is a lot harder than prostitution. That's a international crime.
Well, because prostitution is something more than likely
I'm
wanting to do, but these women were doing it because, for one, and a lot of them did. It did say a lot of them were doing it because they thought that was a means to do better. Yeah. Although a lot of them didn't want to do that.
But the charge of human trafficking is a federal offense that is very, very serious. Yes. So the charge of human trafficking against him, he's looking at some years. Years.
And he won't do a minute. And Michael says Max schooled him. Yes, he did. And, you know, I watched yesterday where Max was like, I can't even eat out at all of the cookouts I've been invited to. And Al says, now T.O.'s fan base has gone up big time.
Yeah, T.O.'s in there chiming in.
T.O. is what some people would say a hit for the team that a lot of these other pundits would not do to Steven and just call him to the carpet. Saying, he said to him, Max is more of a black man than you are. Now, I do think some of that language was incendiary, but I got what T.O. was saying is that why is Max speaking on the issues that you should be speaking on?
Because if you guys know
too busy trying to get checks from Max opposed to speaking up speaking the truth of what was going on with Colin.
But that's the society we live in. Greed is good. It doesn't matter that you're at the bottom as long as I'm at the top. That is where we're at, people.
Right. And Sydney says, meetings, Stephen A. Smith, other comments not regarding Cap. Okay, so what other comments are you talking about? And Chris, you say Stephen A. Smith's point was that if a job as a quarterback in the league is Cap's objective, he could have gone about things differently. Let's see. He could have gone about things differently. Cap could have moved the workout, but given enough notice to allow the teams to attend. If they chose not to, that would have solely been on them. He could have run a true NFL workout to include more than simple throw drills. He could have left the Kunta Kinte shirt at home. He could have taken questions afterwards. He still would have controlled the narratives while not antagonizing the owners. The NFL was definitely wrong on the issue, no question about it. But Smith's point was do not allow their actions to influence yours. Take control of your situation, but still behave in a manner that is above reproach and could in no way be questioned by anybody. Max Kellerman was right on the issue, but Smith was not completely wrong. I know you disagree, but a lot of black football players agree with Smith. Well, I would also like to ask, which black football players are those? Because we also know a lot of black football players won't even acknowledge what Kaepernick is doing. They won't even take a knee or any of that. They are on the side. This dude here. They are on the side of the NFL, and so I think that Kaepernick's actions are coming off as incendiary or poking the bear, if you will, by antagonizing the owners because he saw what we didn't see. He saw that the NFL owners were trying to play run game on him, and I think that's why he told them stop running. You know, basically stop playing these games. You saw what I can do now. I was listening. Al had me listen to, it's weird, we do this thing where he's watching TV and I'll listen to some of the commentary. I can't think of the coach's name, but I think he was on the coach of the Oakland Raiders, the black guy, whoever he is.
Art Shell?
Not Art Shell. Maybe I got the wrong team. Mm-hmm. But he was saying, yeah, we would have had him run some harder drills and things like that. And so I think it was Max or Steven asked him, well, what kind of drills would you have had him do? They said, well, we would have rushed him a little bit to kind of put him under duress.
Right.
And so right there, it clicked to me. It's like, okay, so you wanted to rush him and put him under duress.
Why?
But what if he would have got injured? Now, per his NFL contract, you guys wanted him to be responsible for his own injuries. Now, I understand he wouldn't have been tackled because he didn't have on pads. But what if he was trying to get away, sprung his ankle, or did something crazy? Then the risks are on him.
But why even do that at a
tryout?
Well, it's basically an exhibition.
I mean, he's a quarterback.
He's been there before, right?
But they run plays, right? And throw the ball.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, why stress him to that degree at an exhibition?
Right, and Max made a good point, too, in saying, because the coach was also saying, oh, well, we all got the word, and I'm paraphrasing, the word to go ahead and watch him try out. And so Max says, well, to me, that says that y'all also got the word to not give him a chance. Not go watch him. So why do you guys need the word all of a sudden unless you have the word that says,
leave him alone,
we don't want to entertain him. And he also say, Chris, you can go against them and still not vote for Trump. F out of here, Sambo. No, confused. Definitely. Well, I mean, thank God we live in a democracy where you can vote for whoever you want to, you know, and it's a matter of opinion of what it means to vote for Trump. Now, we know Trump is a douchebag. I say that, and I'll say that a lot. But I think black people are just at the point of being tired of the Democrats promising and never delivering. How is it that, like Yama keeps saying, is that we have been voting Democrats since the 30s and have not moved the ball under the Democratic, voting
banner
for the Democrats. We just haven't. We're still here getting like everybody else. I don't care what you think or what you say, it's a fact. Everybody else, meaning lesbians, Hispanics,
Caribbeans,
women,
people from the Caribbean,
Muslims,
people from Africa.
Everybody else has
come
gotten
here,
something.
and they do well based on the programs that were made for us.
But black people haven't gotten anything. We got a water fountain in the bathroom.
Right.
With white people.
You can shit next to a white person.
Right. I mean, what else have we gotten, honestly? What else have we gotten? I'm talking about specifics. I'm not talking about
Tangible.
what everybody else. I'm talking about what have we gotten that we've been asking since slavery for reparations. And here we are still having that conversation. What have black people gotten for voting for Democrats?
We gave you a black president.
Thank you. And then Cindy says human trafficking in parentheses. And Al says wonderful definition, answer of what a vote really is, Dr. Donovan. So it's a transaction. It's what it is. It's
clear and simple. Clear and simple. A quid pro quo. That's exactly what an election is.
And you think about it in these terms. You're going to walk into Walmart and give your money
and walk out
with nothing?
Walk out.
It's the same thing. Yep. I'm going to walk into the booth and give my vote in hopes of getting something, but we continuously walk out with nothing. We've done this for years, for longer.
Exactly.
My mom wasn't around in the 1930s. And we've been doing it since.
Because Mama was a Democrat, Daddy was a Democrat.
Yeah, we've been doing it since, walking into the booth and giving our vote and getting absolutely nothing for the culture. Yep. Nothing. Yeah, and we still have candidates up there on the stage
promising nothing.
Only one. They're unapologetic about not wanting black people to have reparations, but yet we gonna fight for these people for what?
Yes.
They don't. And I'm not saying to vote for Trump.
Yeah,
because I'm not voting for Trump.
I'm voting for Yang because he's saying he's going to get $1,000.
Because I understand where they're coming from when they say I'd rather take my chances with Trump, who has done something, whether you agree or not. He's done something opposed to these lying ass Democrats who continuously lie to black people.
Right.
And so, Sydney, you say, I tell everyone before signing anything, read it.
You got to read it. And if you don't know it, go to somebody who can interpret it for you.
But why do you guys think contract lawyers exist? Sydney, I'm preaching to choir. You're into law.
He's in the law.
Why do contract lawyers exist? Because even people who read the contracts may not necessarily understand it. So you take it to a lawyer who can fine-tooth comb it and say, okay, this is where it's problematic because to our uneducated eye, it looks fine. But then up the road, when something happens, it's like, well, in this clause, but I read it though. You read it, but you didn't understand it. And so, yes, Sydney, Al is a fool. And Al says, Donovan D and I were having a discussion on people's vernacular, kids, and knowing when someone doesn't read. And so I always say, and Al kind of like, are you sure? I always say I can tell when a person doesn't read because they can't speak. I can tell just by, you know what I'm saying? And it takes them forever to formalize a thought. And it's because I can tell that they probably don't spend enough time reading because when you read, your comprehension is there and you have the vernacular, the vocabulary and all of that.
Shit.
To be able to regurgitate words at a pretty decent rate, I guess you could say.
I agree.
So anyway, Cindy says the charge of human trafficking was dropped. Okay. I didn't know that.
But internationally, I bet you
Okay.
it wouldn't. It's not going to be
And
dropped.
Michael says the field was on the way to the airport. The direction each team rep had to take to leave the ATLC. Now people ain't telling you that. So basically, all the reps that didn't go, they passed it anyway. Why aren't they telling us that, Michael? I wonder why. Because I heard the guy, I can't think of the coach's name, that was on whatever show Stephen A. Smith is on, saying, well, I decided not to go because I had plans. And he's a black dude. I had plans to see him work out there, so I just didn't go. That stuff is need to know information, right?
Yeah.
You passed it anyway.
15 minutes of your time, 20 minutes of your time.
See, I'm through. And Cindy says, I was arguing with Trump supporter, black man, who said, what other things has he done that made us question his blackness? So you talking about Stephen A. Smith? I mean, I don't watch sports a lot, but I remember there's a particular time, and I can't remember all the particulars, but he said something like, something happened, and he said, I don't give a damn what black people think. Basically,
Right.
he wasn't apologizing. Now, when he offended that white woman, when he got to, I think it was Ray Rice, when he beat up his wife or whoever it was, and I think one of his co-hosts at the time took offense to what he said,
Yeah.
that basically women need to be careful and not antagonize men. They suspended this Negro. And what did he do when he came back? I was sorry. I sure shouldn't have said, would have
That's right.
said nah. But he told black people, I don't give a damn. So that's one of the things I can remember. So, I mean, I don't think Stephen A. Smith is necessarily a bad dude. I
No.
think he just
But he's one of those pencil neck
dipping
geeks
his butter
that
biscuits in some maple syrup.
that didn't make his hoop dreams or whatever, and now he's, I mean, I never made it to the pros. Yeah, I'm an average Joe six pack. I give my little commentary, but I'm not going to go out there and be like, telling this man who's made it to that level, Stephen, you never even made it to the level.
Right. And Al says, Donovan, that must be your white side kissing that type of cat.
Yes.
That type of cat.
Yeah. Yes, it is my white side. Yes,
Disgusting.
absolutely.
Both
I love
y'all are
cats.
disgusting.
But that's
He ain't talking
that's
about
her
that cat.
man.
Right. And Al says Hugh Jackson was I'll say Hugh Jackson. That's
Jackson,
what it was.
yeah.
Hugh Jackson was on there just,
Butter busking it up.
man, I was like,
Wow, that's sad. That's sad. Isn't
and-
he looking for a job? Because he's not a head coach anymore, is he? Because he used to be Cleveland's head
Well,
coach.
they said that somebody sent him there to watch.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I don't know
think
where
he's a scout
at.
now. Yeah, he's not a
And
coach. anymore.
Chris, you say I mentioned that prior to the workout. As soon as I saw the restriction, that doesn't change Cap's actions. So you say he should have showed up anyway. Why? It's like, Chris, if you were going to take a job and you knew it was going to harm you in the long run, would you do it anyway? Would you do it anyway?
Sure.
I mean,
You remember that girl that was at the city council meeting, that young girl, and she goes, yeah, even though carbon emissions and all the emissions here is going to kill you,
It's
but
a
it's a
job."
job. Ignorance.
I mean, not saying that you're ignorant,
Yeah.
Chris, but we're just asking, would you, if you were going to work somewhere and it wasn't conducive to you, would you do it anyway?
Mm-hmm.
Even if it was going to harm you up the road forevermore in the future, would you continue to do it?
That job.
And Cindy says, yes, you were right. He did coach the
Raiders and the Browns, right.
Okay.
Yeah, Hugh Jackson.
And then Chris, you also say, because that is what an NFL workout would consist of. It shouldn't be no different than any other player. Okay, so I'm ignorant to
I'm not.
most of that. So I agree with that. However, let's address all the other stuff that, was meant to trip him up. In my opinion, it was meant to trip him up. And it's like, I think people really should be more offended that the NFL just thinks people are just stupid.
Well, they are. They
Just
are.
stupid.
People are stupid. They take the soundbite. That's where we're at today.
That's what I'm saying. It's not even that we're just stupid, but that he's stupid. Like, you're insulting this man's intelligence. We're just going to put that on in there. And he just going to put his name on it. Because I heard some commentary basically saying that they just wanted Colin's signature on the paper. And that would have absolved them of a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. And he just didn't fall for it.
And it shows a propensity of an action.
Right. True. And Chris says Denver brought Manning in for a workout. Manning is one of the most decorated quarterbacks in history. If Manning can undergo a workout, anyone can undergo a workout. Cap said he wanted a workout. He should have been willing to go through a workout. But the issue, Chris, is he wasn't unwilling to go through a workout. I think that's what people are misconstruing. He wasn't willing. He wasn't unwilling to do it. He wanted to do it. It just wasn't. It's like saying, hey, Demetra, I know you're in aquamarines and everything. I want you to go deep diving. Matter of fact, though, there's some sharks under there. They might bite you a little bit. You know, and I'm not signing up for that. Yeah, that's within my job, but I don't want to die. I don't want to be harmed, whether it's physically or financially. I don't want to be harmed. So should it have worked out? I think it's debatable to what extent should I work out. Should it